Hey guys, so I didn't have time to get an announcement out here for this, but I'll invite some of y'all and see if you can pop on. And I hope you're having an awesome Monday. I got a nice little hike in this morning. I also got a little bit of errands done, so it's kind of been a busy day. And yeah, time just got away from me, and I was going to let y'all know and tell you to come on this call, but that's okay. You can watch the playback, but I wanted to make sure that we're asking you guys about different topics you want us to cover on these Monday calls. So if you have any ideas, or if there's just something you're kind of wanting to learn a little bit more about, I've probably done a talk on it at this point because I've covered pretty much almost everything. But I'd love to, hear what you guys want to hear about. If there's something specific that you've been wondering about, maybe there's a technique or a fitness technique or a nutrition hack that you're wondering about, more than happy to cover it, and or pass it along to one of our trainers to cover as well. So another trainer might know a little bit more about it than I do, but definitely the nutrition side of things, I am kind of the expert on that stuff with my research in metabolic therapies. And also I'm actually going through training for metabolic therapies for mental health issues. Anecdotally, this is a talk that I've done over and over again on the military mental health side, the first responder mental health side of things, and also for myself anecdotally, and for other fire team members, other people that I've helped have seen either improvements or complete resolutions of their mental health symptoms. So, this stuff works. Nutrition is medicine, and you can use it as such for all sorts of medical conditions, even mental health issues. So, I will cover that maybe in a later coaching call. That's kind of a longer presentation, so I think I'm going to do a Warrior Wellness podcast on that and share that with you guys, because that's a good, I could do 45 minutes, if not an hour and a half on that. So I will save that for our longer formats on the Warrior Wellness podcast. But please leave a comment, drop a comment if you're watching. If you have any questions about this specific topic, but drop a comment and let us know ideas for topics that you want covered on these Monday calls. So if you can't make them live, that's okay. You can always watch back, and it is a perk that you guys have as fire team members to speak and see and get these videos and these topics live and ask those questions. So we're here for you. We're here. Things change, things come up, life circumstances change. So there's always something going on. There's always something you can add. There's always something you can do differently to keep progressing with your health and fitness journey. So I'm just going to cover this topic real quick. I've definitely talked about this before, but I've seen this come up a lot. And then my friend who does the Lone Star Keto podcast has been posting about this lately. So I want to cover this. So bottom line is, a calorie is not a calorie. And I've gotten into arguments basically with other personal trainers who feel like they're nutrition experts, which they are not. Just because you have a certification in personal training does not make you an expert in nutrition. So I've had advanced training in nutrition and metabolic therapies. So, if a personal trainer can't tell you how the ATP cycle works in your body, then they don't know anything about nutrition, because that's what it's all about. That's the basics. That's the foundation. So, calorie is not a calorie, guys. You cannot, and here's the mic drop argument on that. You cannot tell me that 1,000 calories worth of donuts is the same as 1,000 calories worth of vegetables. I mean, when you put it that way, doesn't it freaking make sense? But for some reason, still, I don't know why, but still, in the weight loss circles and in the personal training world, we're still saying calorie reduce is the only way you can lose weight. And that is just not true. Sure, when you calorie reduce, if you've been overeating, sure, you shouldn't be overeating. You shouldn't be eating way more than your body needs. That's universal. But continuing to calorie reduce is only going to slow your metabolic rate down, and you're putting yourself in danger of actually going lower in vitamins and minerals and nutrients and macronutrients that you need for your body's processes to work well and for you to be healthy. And I always make that argument of, it's not about how much you eat, it's about what you eat. So if you are just cutting calories and just counting those calories, yes, a calorie reduction is going to help a little bit if you've been overeating. But what happens is, as you reduce your calories, your body's always going to try and maintain some sort of homeostasis. So you're going to lose some weight, but then that weight's going to taper off. And almost all of us can raise our hands if we've tried to lose weight before in the past. We've done this. We've significantly reduced calories. I've done this over and over again. And I mean, I've been dieting, quote unquote, since I was a teenager. I did this over and over and over again. And I did this with my clients when I first started personal training, when I knew nothing about nutrition. So, and sure, it worked at first, and then it stopped working. And that's what happened with me over and over and over again. And then you throw in the towel and you go back to what you were doing before, and then you put all the weight back on, and then you start the process, and you're on this hamster wheel for years and years and years. And it always happens. You stop losing weight because your body maintain some sort of homeostasis. It has to find it. So even if you continue to cut your calories, your weight loss is going to slowly reduce. Now, I'm not talking about starvation. That's a totally different animal. So, I'm not talking about, starvation level. Obviously, that's dangerous in itself. You're going to cause significant harm to yourself. And we see this in people who have eating disorders, obviously. So absolutely not, to that point. Obviously, you're going to see some crazy weight reductions. But most people, what they do is they cut their calories by 500, 600, depending on where they start, maybe even 1,000. They lose some weight, and then it tapers off. And then it's like, okay, well, now what do I do? I cut more calories. Well, at this point, my energy is just through the toilet. I'm cranky and hangry all the time. I'm getting low blood sugar. I'm getting the shakes, right? You don't even have enough energy to make it through the day. You just feel like shit constantly, right? So who wants to feel like that? And then you just go, that's it. I'm not even losing weight anymore. I'm barely losing weight. I give up. That's exactly what happens to most people who calorie cut. So it doesn't work, guys. So stop doing it. Of course, if you're overeating, you gotta not overeat according to your body. But going on this endless journey of reducing calories to lose weight doesn't work. And the argument is, if you're not watching what you're putting in your mouth, the nutrition side of things, if you're just counting calories and you're not actually paying attention to eating unprocessed whole foods, getting enough protein, and finding out what your carbohydrate load and level is for your body. Everybody's different when it comes to that. Getting good micronutrients, getting enough vitamins and minerals. Most people are deficient in at least 5 key vitamins. And I have a whole talk about those specific ones and what they do to the body. So even if you have just one vitamin that you're deficient in, it could be causing your metabolism to slow down. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to getting those good unprocessed whole foods, getting those macronutrients, micronutrients, and not just eating processed junk, because what's going to happen is you're going to cut calories, and if you're eating just processed crap, you're going to be sick, and you're going to be deficient in vitamins and nutrients that help your body feel okay and healthy and have all these processes going on, these metabolic systems that are going on that will be okay with you losing weight. If your body is not healthy, it's not going to be okay with you shedding body fat, because when you shed body fat, you're actually releasing toxins into your body. Your fat stores toxins. So if you're unhealthy and sick, you're going to make yourself unhealthy and sicker. And I just did an interview with a functional medicine doctor, and she brought this up specifically in our talk about how dangerous this is for people who are very unwell to do these crash diets and this severe, significant calorie cutting, because you have this flood of fat shedding at first, of course, when that happens, and then you have this release of toxins into an already sick body, and that can set you up for some very, very dangerous things. So it's really important on the weight loss side of things is to lose weight slowly, do it gradually, get healthy, focus on getting healthy. And if you ever work with me as a client for weight loss, you will know I will not make a weight loss goal with you. I refuse. I will not make a weight loss goal with you, because that's not what I want to focus on, and that's a distraction, really. And it's you up to pay more attention to just the number on the scale, rather than how you feel, how healthy are you, do you have medical conditions that are improving. So that's what I'm doing with my clients. I don't give a shit what you weigh. I give a shit about every day, are we making all the best decisions that we can to make you healthier, one step at a time, every single day. And then a result of that, a wonderful result of that, is a decrease in body fat and an increase in muscle mass. So it might be a longer process for some people, depending on what's going on, depending on their medical conditions. But if you stick with it and you see through with this process, and then you take those progression steps along the way to get healthier and healthier and healthier, you're gonna see that fat shed. It might take a while, but guess what? You didn't put on that weight overnight either. So you have to be patient, but focusing on health, real whole unprocessed foods, eating enough, not just focusing on calories, but the quality of your calories. So if you're only going to be eating 1,000 calories a day, you better be eating real whole foods instead of just processed crap. Sure, I can go on a diet and eat fast food and eat 1,000 calories a day and lose weight. But guess what? I'm going to be sick as a dog. My immune system's going to crash. My adrenals are going to crash. My muscle mass is going to start depleting because I'm not getting enough protein, because I'm eating very carb heavy foods. Carbs are actually less than calories. Guess what? So you actually can eat more carbs, but you're going to be miserable because your blood sugar is going to be all over the place. So that's the difference, guys. So the calorie thing is silly. Most people don't overeat to that point. Now some do, and we have to cut back, but that's so rare. I rarely see that. Most of the time people are not eating enough, and they're not eating enough real whole foods, and are not getting enough protein. So what we do is kind of shift those calories, make sure you're being consistent with those calories and eating real whole foods, and you don't feel like crap because your calories are so low, and you feel really good and satisfied with your food. Plus, you're starting to get the benefits of all those wonderful micro and macronutrients that you're eating, those real whole foods. So your body is just feeling very much more healthy. You're getting those vitamins. Your systems are healing themselves. So you can continue to feel better and not feel hangry all the time because you keep cutting your calories down. So that's the difference. So bottom line is 1,000 calories of donuts is not the same as 1,000 calories of veggies. And if you are struggling if you are on a plateau, you need to sign up for our nutrition coaching programs and start making some real progress. And we'll teach you how to do this. You don't have to stay on our program forever. We teach you what to do. So this is something, a tool in your toolbox, a whole toolbox full of tools that you can use. You learn, we set you up for success, we get you progressing really well, and then you're on your own. You can do it on your own forever. You don't need us anymore. You know exactly what works for your body. Now you can come back for some maintenance if something comes up or something changes, or you fell off the program, you need some accountability and motivation to get back on. Fantastic. But keep that in mind. A calorie is not a calorie, guys. It is the quality of the calories that you are putting in your system consistently. That's another thing. I've worked with clients who just can't stay out of that drive-through lane. They're so addicted, and those foods are definitely very addictive. They light up all those areas in the brain, the pleasure centers of the brain. It is an addiction. So that's why it's so hard, because they make these foods addictive. They set us up biologically to be addicted to these foods. So that's why it's so hard to stay away from those things. And and I do work with people who are addicted to these foods for a lot of reasons, and they can eat well and healthy, but they just can't stay away. As soon as something goes wrong, as soon as they're having a bad day, as soon as they're not feeling well, as soon as their boss looks at them crossways, it's that craving for that pleasure center, right? Of course, we all want pleasure, right? We go towards pleasure, we run away from pain. So, when you find yourself craving bad foods, when you find yourself craving, going through a drive-through, investigate what's going on in your mind. Did you have a bad day? Or are you in a bad mood? It's just, are you just kind of feeling crappy? Are you feeling a little depressed or low? Maybe you do suffer from depression or anxiety or PTSD. And this is probably what's going on. You're not really hungry. It's actually a seeking of pleasure. It's a temporary pleasure, of course. It's not something that's going to cure your depression and anxiety and PTSD. Actually, it's the opposite. These things are actually making them worse because you're creating such inflammation in your brain. So, and you're depleting your gut of serotonin, which is the pleasure hormone that makes you feel good, right? So it's actually backfiring when you eat those foods. So yes, I totally understand that it is an addiction, and I was a sugar addict for a very long time. And it's just something that I understand within myself, that if I have it, I crave it. So it is so rare that I have a dessert. I was just saying to Brad the other day, I don't remember the last time I had dessert. It's been months. It has been months, like probably 3 months at least. I know I haven't had it since Bryce, or when we were in Utah and we did all 5 parks. So that was 2 months ago, guys, 3 months ago. So yeah, when I don't have it, I don't crave it. But as soon as I have it, I can tell, like I start kind of getting that sugar craving, kind of feeling like I need something sweet, especially in the evenings, or if I'm like having a shitty day or something goes wrong. All right, so it's just better for me personally, because of that addiction, that I just keep it out of my life and just keep it as a rare thing that I have on a special occasion. So, you have to know yourself. You can't just wish that it's going to be different. If I wish I wasn't a sugar addict, that doesn't make it true. It just doesn't. It's not realistic. So, you have to do what works for your body. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's on a different way of life, a different path, a different journey with what's going on within their body. So what works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So when I work with my clients, I'm finding the right thing for you right now that makes sure that you are progressing. That doesn't mean it's a canned thing that works for me. I don't just put you on the plan that I'm on. We are going to find what works for you. So If you need assistance with that, join up with our nutrition coaching program. We just got a nice shout out today from one of our nutrition coaching clients. So proud of her. She's doing fantastic. She's gone Hawaii in a week. She feels so good. She hasn't been this weight in over a decade. She's so proud of her progress. She's worked really hard, and it has been a process. It's a lot. Everybody has a lot of things going on. So if you have kind of a complicated past, if you have some autoimmune disease, if you have mental health issues, you have medical issues, definitely I would love to work with you, because I love working on those more complex plans. Sure, if you're easy, I love it too. I love an easy client. I love just putting on somebody on a nutrition plan and they like lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Fantastic. But that's not everybody's journey, right? Sometimes it's a lot more complicated than that. We have to kind of experiment and find what works for you. All right, guys, have a fantastic Monday. And bottom line is, a calorie is not a calorie. So don't fall for that bullshit, that old school bullshit. That is not true. You can't tell me 1,000 calories of donuts is the same thing as 1,000 calories of veggies. Those foods act completely differently biologically in your bodies, and it's your body. So what works for you doesn't work for me. I don't tolerate vegetables very well. There's very few that I tolerate. Oh my God, I had cauliflower the other day. I won't even describe the horror show happening in the bathroom with that. Cauliflower is not my friend. Cruciferous vegetables are not my friend, right? So even things that are supposed to be healthy for you may not be good for your bodies. So we have to experiment. We have to find those things that work for you, that make you healthy, that make you feel well, and that keep you progressing towards your health and fitness goals.